we're back with this week's episode.
This is take number 50
of season 2 of our relationship. We are still thinking of a title, but if you could have one, maybe comment it. So
I think we're in a relationship forever.
Yeah.
Forever, really.
I'll never get rid of her.
I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, today we're going to be talking about when Grace said she didn't want to be a Christian anymore and stopped going to church.
Yes. So that sounds scary when you say it, but it's true. Okay, this is what happened. So it's a little bit loaded. It happened over time.
Yeah.
I think I just had one of those breaking points, as I'm sure we all can kind of relate to, where I was just like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't care. I don't have a valid reason in my head right now, but I just know that I don't want to go to church anymore. I don't want to pray. I don't want to read my Bible. And it had been a long time, but it was the first time that I'd ever verbalized it and said it out loud, which was scary to do because when you say something, it makes it real.
Yeah.
I've been living in denial for a while, and this is chalked up to so many different things that had gone on in the past few years and just throughout my life up until this one point. And so I'm going to share a little bit about what that looked like for me. And yeah, so I grew up going to church my entire life. My parents were pastors, and I never disliked church. I never had an opposition to it. It was just something that we did. And not that I didn't feel like I had a choice, like they were forcing me, but there was no other life outside of going to church. I just didn't know it. I wasn't raised that way. And so it was just very normal. And it was weird to me that people didn't go to church. I was like, I thought everyone did this. I was sheltered for my childhood. I didn't really know anything different. I saw a lot of different perspectives, but I really was just seeing my own, the biggest, I think. And so, you know, in high school, I think I had some struggles, maybe some oppositions at times, but I always had a very strong backing, which was you and Dad, who were always just so honest and open and really, you know, showing us that you made mistakes and really just being people who I trusted to guide me the right way. However, I remember this moment where my English teacher had us write in our journals, and I was writing about how nothing had ever happened bad in my life up until that point. I never lost anyone. I had gone through like little things, but for the most part, everything was good, everything was great, and I wondered what it would be like to have experienced something else, and I just was talking about how blessed I was. And then a week later, my dad passed away. And what I remember about this experience that I have only just started to process as of like literally last year was all of this commotion's going down and everyone is praying that he makes it through. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be okay. He's in the hospital. Hospitals mean getting better. Everyone's praying. So how is it that he's not gonna make it? I've gone to church my entire life. I've seen people pray for things and it's happened. And I was like, this is going to work out. I didn't even have any questions. I wasn't like, oh, I don't know. I was like, oh, it's gonna happen 1000%. And it didn't. And when that happened, I was like traumatized. I don't think I even knew how to fathom like that we had all prayed, hundreds of people, and the result was not what we wanted. And for a 16-year-old girl who her entire life had been like, this is how it goes. And then it just works out when you pray, when you have faith, things work out the way you want them to. And it didn't. And I was like, okay. And because it was such an emotional time, it was so traumatic, it was so unexpected, I just kind of kept going through the motions and never really like processed or dealt with what was going on. Mm-hmm. Up until a year ago, I said, this is it. I had had a lot of things that I had hoped for, that I had prayed for, that didn't happen. And I was very upset. And it all led back to, I trusted, I believed, I had faith, and my dad still passed away. And I didn't just lose my dad. My mom lost her husband, and my 4 siblings also lost their dad too. And I was very angry. I was very upset. I was done going through the motions, and I just had given up in that sense. I didn't see anything past, I just don't want to do this anymore, and I'm sorry. I was trying, I felt ashamed for feeling ashamed because I was like, what is everyone gonna think of me? And I just don't want to, I'm not gonna be a Christian anymore, and I'm gonna be I don't know, but I'm going to be something different, and I'm not going to go to church, and it's going to be the biggest deal ever to everyone.
Right.
And I was like, okay. So I was in my room, and I was like, I'm done with this. I am done. Like, I am so angry, and I have all these reasons. So I waltzed down the stairs, and my mom's sitting on the couch. I said, Mom, I don't want to be a Christian anymore. I'm not going to church. I am not reading my Bible, and I'm not going to pray. And she said, okay,